All right, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, guys, welcome to the Media Hijack Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Walters, and joining me is Chris Unholy Jesus. Yeah.
What's up, fam? Happy Tuesday. It's almost hump day.
Hump day. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Media Hijack. This is episode 184. Before we get started, if you guys want to get some official Media Hijack t-shirts, you can head over to the MediaHijack.com. I'm going to make a new t-shirt.
Really?
Yes. Because, my Media Hijack t-shirt, it all shrunk. So I was like, I'm going to just make some new ones.
Yeah, I think mine's starting to fade out a little bit. That's my fault. I keep throwing it in the dryer. I need to stop.
Yeah, you got to air dry those.
All right, I'll be forgetting.
But I'm going to try to use, the premium t-shirts. So the price is going to go up. I don't care.
Fuck it.
If you're a fan, you're going to buy it. But it's going to be a good t-shirt quality.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
All right. And also, if you guys want to catch the replay for this live Twitch video, you can head over to our YouTube channel. You can watch the replay because sometimes we got some pictures and videos you guys want to see. And it's all free. We're behind no paywall. Everything's free. And don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Give us that 5-star frog splash. And all right, let's get started. So today's main topic, we're going to be talking about the sex cult leader that's behind NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory System, Mr. Jack Parsons. And I'm going to let Chris get started on this.
Yes, I stumbled across this on a website. What was it called? Allinteresting.com. Man, I even got a topic for next week if we need one.
Dude, off of this website. You're on a roll. Let's go.
This website, allinteresting.com, has so much the weird shit that we love and like to read about. That's the website right now. That's gonna be my source as of right now for finding topics.
We need those.
This is good, man. And this is the first story I came across about this guy named Jack Parsons. Man, because so in the previous episode we have an episode about Aleister Crowley. And I think it seems like we keep bringing him up, or at least the occult that people follow after him. It seems like we always keep having to bring up Aleister Crowley at some point in time. He's starting to become a regular on the Media Hijack. So this guy Jack Parsons, he was born in October 2nd, 1914. His parents separated early, right after he was born, but he came up in a very I don't know if it's completely wealthy, but his parents weren't hurt for money. They was doing really good. He actually grew up on Millionaire's Row in Pasadena with plenty of money, but with few friends. Parsons spent much of his life reading mythology, legend, and science fiction, particularly the works of Jules Verne and pulp fiction magazines. Jules Verne, he did books I think 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and he did several books. He's a very popular author. I never read any of his books, to be honest. I've read a comic book adaptation of his books of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's basically about his name's not Captain Ahab. He's this Middle Eastern guy who owns this crazy ass looking submarine type machine, but goes down deep 20,000 leagues in the sea and sees all these crazy ass creatures and just massive monsters like giant squids and all sorts of stuff.
You said it's a science fiction story?
Yes, and he's and so all of Jules Verne's books, which is based off of this weird 80 I think it's Around the World in 80 Days, just very fantasy type books of humans kind of pushing the limits of just what the boundaries of the world is, and so that's what he was really into. That's why he was into as he got older, you'll see why he was into the stuff that he was in, because he started young reading Jules Verne,
sex,
and I don't know anything sexual, more sci-fi. He's really big into sci-fi. The sex stuff comes later, but as far as came on, was that
crazy sex magic?
Yeah, that comes out a little bit later. That's when he gets. That's when he becomes a man. But as a child, he was really.
Oh, go ahead.
Right. There you go. But as a child, he was into Jules Verne, H.G. Wells, who did War of the Worlds. He was really into that type of stuff. But while he was growing up, he really had a hard time in school. He had dyslexia, and so he was getting bullied all the time. But despite the fact that his dyslexia, because as someone for me myself, I sucked at school. But people always know, hey, Chris, you're kind of intelligent. School just ain't for everybody, and that's how it was for Jack Parsons. School wasn't really for him as well, but he was incredibly intelligent. But while he was getting picked on at school, he actually had this guy that actually came out there and would defend him in these fights as well too. why he was getting picked on. And he eventually wound up becoming friends with them, and then they started that's when, like, when they was younger, they'd go to the backyard, build rockets, and test out stuff. And that's when he eventually got into, like, with interested in, like, wanting to build rockets and wanting to create, like, jet propulsion fuel and all sorts of stuff. Which I have a theory about. It's never really explained on how he thought of, like, jet propulsion fuel. I think maybe he dabbled in dark magic or some shit. I don't know to figure this out, but he figured out a way to send people to Mars because Jack Parsons is a guy who had a huge hand in NASA and sending people to the moon and outer space and beyond. Not just the moon, but satellites. Like, he figured out the formula to create jet propulsion to make it combustible to, like, just straight launch shit into space.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he was, like, a huge contributor to NASA and why NASA's able to do what they do today and probably to the damn near end of time. He basically got exiled out the community because his public life started becoming public. His life started becoming, like, known to the public about how he's dabbling in, like, sex cults and all this other stuff. And NASA was like, yeah, we don't want any ties to any. Right. You know how people are when you find out you do something outside the ordinary. They want to, like, automatically, like, satanic or you're a witch or something.
It becomes like a security issue, because especially if you're messing with, like, rocketry, right? Because he did contribute to help produce rockets for the military for World War II, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're doing stuff like that, and then on top of that, your personal life deals with, like, satanic cult rituals, doing magic, and, like, you would think, like, okay, this guy is off the rails, right? And then on top of that, he's working on, like, top secret, new technology for the military, and we can't. I mean, if you look at it from a security point of view, you're like, oh, this guy is high risk, even though, like, he is contributing, like, these new technology, new theories, and new ideas on how to do, like, rocket propulsion and stuff. At the same time, this guy, his lifestyle it's risky, especially with the government. They're like, I don't know, this guy could just be leaking stuff out there, and, who knows?
Yeah, no, that's, like, I agree. It definitely can be looked at as a security risk. I mean, I remember back when I was in the military, and I tried to apply for, like, top secret clearance. I couldn't get it because I had no credit. So it wasn't like I had good credit or bad credit. I just had no credit, and they just saw me as a liability. So I was never able to get top secret clearance. But, like, if you get top secret clearance and you saw, like, I had a friend, like, when I was in the military, lose his top secret clearance because he was in debt by, like, $40,000, and it was like, yeah, you might be at risk for spilling some of our, because he worked for Intel for the Air Force. He's like, yeah, and I guess they looked at him and was like, yeah, you might be liable to spread the knowledge that we've given you. We're gonna take away your top secret clearance until you can get this shit sorted out with your financial issues, because you are now a liability. And so I could see even back then, it's like, yeah, you involved with these people, ain't no telling what shit you might give up. They had to cut ties with him, I guess.
Yeah, it was too risky.
But like I was saying before, yeah, he got picked on when he was a kid. This guy named Edward Foreman, he actually protected him. And like I said, that's when they started doing their own rocket experiments in the backyard and all that. And later, they would work together to help send Americans to space. Says, becoming a pioneer rocket scientist, Jack Parsons began his first experiments in his own backyard, where he would build gunpowder-based rockets along with Ed Foreman. It says, unfortunately for Foreman, fortunately for Parsons, the Great Depression affected his family like it did many others, and was forced to drop out of college due to financial difficulties. So the Great Depression was a fucking horrible time in America. It put a lot, but that was like when the stock market crashed. Wall Street yuppies were jumping out the goddamn windows and face planting on the damn concrete. I watched the video, like, last year, I think it was. This lady with these adults, or they're like older now, but they remember a time back during the Great Depression. Their mother sold them for $5 and sold them to separate families because the mother couldn't make ends meet. Like, there's people selling kids back then just to, like, and the thing is, a lot of them kids weren't surviving.
Unless they were using them to sex traffic.
God knows what, man. Yeah, because there's stories of, like, when children were being sold during the Great Depression, they was ending up homes getting abused, molested. Sometimes the person would never see that child again when they sold them. Right. It became a mess. So Great Depression was a horrible time.
Because if you think about it, when people have kids, like, oh my God, how am I going to take care of this kid? It's going to be so expensive, right? So I was like, if it's so expensive, but then when you sell kids, people are like, oh yeah, sure, like I'll buy your kid for $5. You gotta know there's something behind that,
right? And the video I watched about, like, these four siblings. I think there were 4 or 5 siblings. They got sold off. There's actually a legendary picture, infamous picture, where, or if you look up like Great Depression online and look up Google images of it, there's a lady on the front porch saying like, "Hey, my kids are for sale for $5." There's a video of that video of that legendary picture. There's a video of like those kids when they grow up and become adults. They eventually all reunite together. They all survived. They all survived. They didn't end up in like shitty homes. But yeah, but I bet you got some stories or whatever they ended up with. But they all lived to an elderly age and they all reunited again. But it was like, damn, like our mother gave us up because shit was that hard. And even from somebody like Jack Parsons, who came from a well-off family, even they got hit to where he had to like, I know this is like a first world issue, but he had to drop out of college because of Great Depression. I mean, that's the least. That's like low tier compared to what everyone else experienced.
Yeah,
in the Great Depression.
But he came from a wealthy family, so I think he was okay. Definitely.
Yeah, he was fine. I mean, he got sold off. Bob says they still do that overseas. Nothing new, right? So that like for America to do this, it's weird for America to reach that point where it seems like a common thing for children to be sold. I mean, children were sold into slavery out here. So I mean, America ain't very new to this.
It's still very common overseas. Like for example, Cambodia. Like these people, they're selling their own children. Like still, like it's nothing. In today's time.
Yeah, in 2024.
Yeah, like, there you go. There's your new owner over there. His name is Richard. And he has a big beep. My bad. That's inappropriate.
Beep.
No. Damn, we got to cut that out. Damn, that's bad.
All right, so in 1934, Parsons and Foreman decided to approach Frank Molina, a graduate student at the California Institute of Technology, and form a small group of devoted to the study of rockets. They refer themselves as the Suicide Squad because dealing with those combustible chemicals and building rockets is a dangerous job. And they felt like if we mess with this stuff, we're gonna die. So Ed Foreman, Jack Parsons, and Frank Molina, they started their own little group and they started creating a name for themselves. And they said, nevertheless, Suicide Squad quickly realized that Jack Parsons was a genius at creating rocket fuel. A delicate process that involved mixing chemicals in exactly the right amount so that they would be explosive yet combustible. Versions of the fuel that he developed were later used by NASA. And then after that, 1943, Suicide Squad. Actually, they wound up changing their name to the Aerojet Engineer Corporation. They saw their work appropriate. Yeah, they had to change it. Like they went from like the kid stuff to it's like when you become an adult and you have to change your email. Like, okay, mine was used to be Pussy Monster 69 when I was 16. Yeah. Now I gotta change it to Billy Waters 22.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Yeah, you gotta change your email when you get older. It's the same thing. Like you can't be. That shit ain't funny though. I still use my email from when I was 16, but it's not like horrible.
Yeah.
Isn't it when I tell my email to people?
Professional email.
Yeah, when I tell my email to people, they're like, "Is that for Metal Gear Solid?" I'm like, "Yeah, look, just roll with it. All right, that's all I got, bro."
Yeah.
So did you want anything? Say anything else? If I continue?
Oh no, go ahead.
Okay. And then like I said, they changed the name to Aerojet Engineer Corporation, and they saw their work legitimized as they played a crucial role in founding what would become NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, the research center that sent spacecraft beyond the reaches of our solar system. However, although the government involved led to great success and opportunities for Jack Parsons, it meant close observation of his personal life. So while he was gaining all this fame, success of like, all right, you sending the man to the moon, or you creating things that's like world changing. Literally, you're sending people off world. We need to take a look further into you. And so when they started doing that, they started finding out he actually dabbled in Aleister Crowley's sex cult. And at the same time, Jack Parsons was pioneering. At the same time, this is while he's pioneering scientific developments that will help put the man on the moon. So they was like, hey, you go to these sex cult parties and you work for NASA and you're dabbling in like this dark magic. This is a bad look. And so,
because he did join the Agape Lodge,
yes,
of the Ordo Templi Orientis (OTO) in Pasadena. Mm-hmm. So his leadership role after he joined this cult, like he quickly rose in the ranks due to his charismatic personality and financial contributions. So he eventually became the lodge leader. Yeah. So like not only was he in a cult, like he became a leader of a cult.
He moved up the ranks.
Agape.
Yes, it went to the tippy top.
If you say it slowly, is Agape Lodge.
a gape lodge,
Hmm.
like a gape like.
Gaping, yeah, a gaping
Uh,
lodge. Wild. And then they did
um.
practice in the Thelema ritual practices, which is Aleister Crowley stuff.
Oh yeah, that is right up his damn alley, man. So he was a student of Aleister Crowley,
Hmm.
and one of his many students. It says also that although many OTO's creeds were based or more around fulfilling individual desires, for example, communing with the devil, Parsons and other members did partake in strange rituals, including eating cakes made of menstrual blood.
Menstrual blood cakes.
Yes, there's this thing I started hearing about not too long ago. You ever seen the movie Midsummer?
No.
It's this movie about these guys, like these group of people, these young adults. They go on a trip to, I don't know, some European country, whatever. Just all white people there, and they have but it's in the middle of nowhere. And there's people that live out in the middle of nowhere. They have a cult, and all it is the job is like this cult exists. So when tourists come there, they kill all the tourists every time. And so, and sometimes they try to recruit people from the tourist group into the mix. There's a girl in the movie that was trying to get one of the tours to fall in love with her, and he eventually starts falling in love with her, right? But the reason why is because she was like taking her menstrual blood, and she was like
Ew.
putting it in like his food, his drinks, or whatever. Because from like a lot of these lores and like cult stuff, if you use like menstrual blood, aka period blood, and you put it in put it like in food for a man to digest, it makes them fall in love.
What?
So yes, man. I didn't find out till like I saw Midsummer and I had to look up. I was like, oh, this is like a thing of like
So what
putting.
if you have sex while they're on their period? Would that be the same effect?
I mean, unless you eat it, unless you get that red badge, I guess. I mean, I don't know. You go down
It's like, ugh.
because you have to like the man or whoever you're trying to get to fall for you has to ingest your menstrual blood. So
Red tide season.
yeah, it's yeah, it's wild, man. So
I don't know
that's
about
what they
putting it in a
learn.
cake, but damn,
A cake made of menstrual blood, so it's like a blood cake.
super magic
Like I
shit.
guess like a blood sausage. I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I was scared to look it up. I didn't want to come across a blue
Well,
waffle situation.
I eat like you ever ate pork blood, like coagulated pork blood? They call it pork cake blood, or I think that's what they call it.
No. The only thing I had was like blood sausage, and that was disgusting. I didn't like that. I didn't even know what that
there's
was.
like this Asian dish, this kanji, like where you can eat it with like blood sausages, no blood,
Yeah.
pork blood cake, and it's just like
Yeah.
in blocks, and they chop it up. And me as a
Okay.
child, when I first ate it, I thought it was just meat, but then I realized I grew older. It's like, oh, that's pure blood that's been coagulated.
Yes. Yeah.
Still good.
Bob says-
I'll still eat it.
Raven said, I said Raven. Bob says Raven Simone's wife did that to her spaghetti, and that's why. And now Raven Simone is married to her.
You know, people that's in the Hollywood scene, of course, they're dabbling in this mental cycle blood stuff because they all know like it's like the rumor to be like the magical whatever ritual
Right.
ingredients that they use in these rituals. They all dabbled in that shit. Come on, like blood
Oh, man.
magic, sex magic, all that shit. That's what Aleister Crowley was doing.
Right.
Because they were magical practices, right? They were doing it like a lot of it involves a lot of sex magic.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? And I'm pretty sure a lot of blood was involved in this sex magic. And then, like, this is not even a new thing because in Hollywood they do talk about like, you ever heard of what is it, spirit cooking? Like a ceremony
No.
like with the high politicians and celebrities, where they have like these events where it's just nothing but like blood everywhere, but they're cooking with blood,
What? I think
and
that's
they're
how we
supposed
do
to
it.
be like people that you look up to, and then they're out here doing these rituals like with blood and stuff.
We talked about that before. That sounds
Yeah,
familiar.
spirit cooking. It's
Wow.
weird.
The
If you
smell of
get
blood.
deeper
But
into
like,
Hollywood, like if you're in that scene, you get deeper into Hollywood, they're like, this shit is weird. Like, what the hell? Like, it is as weird as the movies.
man, probably even crazier.
Because even
it,
like Joe Rogan was saying, he's like, dude, he's like, Hollywood is weird as fuck. Don't get too
Man,
close to
that's
that
what-
shit.
That's what they call it, Hollyweird. Like that's
Yeah,
they,
Jesus Christ.
and I can say it like that too. It's kind of like they live on a different reality from us. They don't work a 9 to 5, all this other stuff. They live a very hectic, crazy life, and in order to get that fame, And in order to reach the pinnacle of success in the world, like being an athlete or a famous movie star or whatever, you gotta sacrifice a lot of time and dedication. And who knows what you gotta believe in to even get to that point, or who you gotta worship. Because they might be believing a whole god. They might be believing a whole entity that we don't even know even existed. They might, you know what I'm saying, like
like Babylon.
some old, you know what I'm saying, some old yes, some
about
old
that?
shit.
Let's get into that because
Yes.
okay, so Jack Parsons, right? He's known to do the whole jet propulsion system for NASA and stuff, but then he did dabble with the occult. So he was doing this ritual. It's called like the Babylon working, which is one of the most famous rituals that was performed by Jack Parsons, where in 1946, alongside with L. Ron Hubbard, which we can talk about later, they did a series of rituals that was aimed towards to summon a Thelemic god, a goddess, Babylon, and manifest a divine feminine entity. So they were doing this Babylon ritual to get this certain entity to come out. And it's one of the most famous ones, 1946. Because he did it with L. Ron Hubbard, which is the founder of Scientology.
Yeah.
L. Ron Hubbard, he pretty much created his own religion based on like a lot of stuff he learned from like Aleister Crowley and other, teachings from books that he read. And he put it all together into his own religion.
Bro, I just remembered when I was on, like a couple weeks ago, I was in Cali. I was doing the Hollywood Boulevard, doing stars and all that shit, the famous people stars. I took a picture and I forgot to send it to you of a Scientology. On Hollywood Boulevard, there's a Scientology building there. They got security out front and everything.
It's everywhere.
I forgot to send you a picture of it.
Yeah, Florida has one too.
I was like, what the fuck? Big ass Scientology going down. I was like,
it's legit. Yeah, it's just out. It's out there in broad daylight. Like it's so normal,
Yeah, people walk past like it was sometimes like I was like, dang, they must be used to this shit. I've never seen the Scientology headquarters ever.
It's a thing, man. It's crazy.
But yeah, Jack Parsons was like his Ron Hubbard's roommate for like, from my understanding, wasn't very long. Actually, they had a really bad falling out too, which I'll get to a little bit later. But yeah, Jack Parsons and Ron Hubbard were like roommates. And I even because they actually did a book. Actually, Parsons wrote a book called The Book of Babylon. He talks about how the rituals, like you said, they try to carry out with try to carry out these rituals. But they was also trying to summon a moon child, which yes. So during their time together, they were trying to summon a moon child. And so a moon child is actually based off of Aleister Crowley wrote a book called Moonchild. It's a novel that came out in 1917. It involves a magical war between white magicians and black magicians fighting over an unborn child. But somehow this child's supposed to be like a god. And so there's times too where him and Ron Hubbard was like, let's get this ritual shit going and then do what they had to do to set it up. And they was trying to summon a moon child to come to Earth. And it says like the moon child says who would be mightier than all the kings of Earth. So they was trying to summon like Big G God. I don't know what they're trying to bring to this world, but supposedly, and this is from Aleister Crowley, where he wrote a book saying like there's a moon child that exists that at one time white wizards and black wizards were like going at it to try to get control of this unborn child.
That might be real.
Yeah, man. So he was.
Yeah. I wouldn't dismiss that. The crazy thing with Aleister Crowley, dude. Like, remember, like we did a whole podcast on him, and then he had like the whole story where he was he did like the automatic writing, right? From where he was like he was under some type of like hypnosis, and then he was speaking to an entity like on the other side. Like he said it's I forgot the name of the god. It's like Ayahuasca, something like that, right? Where he came into like his body and wrote down everything he wanted to be in a book. He's like, I'm gonna write a book through you. So he wrote a book like through Aleister Crowley. I think the book is called it's like called like the law of everything, something like that. Like the law of something. But just look up Aleister Crowley book, and that book was all written by another entity from somewhere else. Like we don't even know.
Wow.
When he was possessed by this entity, like for like I think 3-4 days. It took 3 or 4 days to write the whole book.
Right, and then he wrote the book.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like he was under some type of trance, and then yeah, the dude. I think he did some things where it really did change a lot of what's happening like in the world today. Like because they said he did this ritual like in his mansion. Like he did this magic ritual spell where he opened up a portal, right? And the rumor is he never closed it. So
This Crowley?
Like, yeah. Crowley or Crowley. It's actually pronounced Crowley.
Crowley.
Yeah. The rumor is he never closed it, so they say like till this day, like the shit is just wide open. That's just rumor.
I keep calling him Crowley because in the TV show Supernatural, there's a character named Aleister Crowley who I think his mother was a demon too, but he actually winds up becoming the king of hell in the show. He winds up tricking us. Yeah, he winds up setting up this like while the heroes of the show are trying to take out Lucifer, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna help the heroes out, and because what Lucifer's doing is wrong. But he had his own secondary plans, like, okay, well, Lucifer's taken off the throne, I'm gonna become the king of hell, and so he took over hell. And so what it is when you try to when he took over hell, he made it such an inconvenience for you to like go to like limbo. It was the DMV. So if you was going to limbo, you had to wait in the DMV line,
Damn.
and that shit was like countless of humans standing in line,
That's hell.
and it took thousands of years to get to limbo or to hell or whatever. It was he just basically rebuilt it into the image that he wanted.
But yeah,
So, but they pronounced it Aleister Crowley in the show. That's why I keep calling it Crowley, not Crawley.
yeah, I think the majority of people did pronounce it Crowley.
Yeah.
I mean, tomato, potato, right?
Right. So like I said, so Parsons and Hubbard, they were actually roommates at one time for a very short time. Also, Parsons had a girlfriend named Betty Northrup, who actually helped formed a partnership called Allied Enterprise, and their job was basically to buy and selling of yachts. It got to a point, the reason why Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard had like a falling out was because so Betty, who was Parsons' girlfriend, Parsons believed that he was cheating on her with L. Ron Hubbard, and then they kind of just ran off with each other and took his life savings, Parsons' life savings. 'Cause I guess she may have had access to his account, took his money, and then ran off with L. Ron Hubbard. Now,
so Hubbard, he took his girl and he took
his
his
girl
money.
and his money,
Jesus,
and ran off. Which I truly do believe is because L. Ron Hubbard, me personally, I think Scientology is a scam, straight through and through. I think it's like a scamologist type shit. I do believe they might have some knowledge of like some other side weird stuff, they probably do. But by and large, it seems like it's like a celebrity scam to get people to pay money to get into it. So with hearing that L. Ron Hubbard stole money from Jack Parsons, I'm not surprised because Scientology is like a scam in and of itself too. So, what a bunch of weird freaks in it. Like, somebody's got a life sentence, like 30 years in prison from Scientology. The dude from That 70s Show, with the glasses. You remember his name was Hyde.
Yeah.
He got he just got 30 years in prison for like raping like 2 or 3 women while he was in Scientology.
That's crazy.
Scientology wild, man.
I didn't even know he was in Scientology though.
Me neither, until he's on trial. That's when he started bringing it up.
I think he probably crossed them real bad. They were like, all right, because I'm pretty sure everybody in Hollywood got like a track record where they can get destroyed.
Oh yes.
So they feel like if you step out of line, like, all right, we're gonna take you out. And here's one example: the dude from the 70 show. 30 years, easy.
30 years, 15. Oh, is it like? Cause how many girls? I think it's like 2 girls. So what? 15 years per girl. Got his ass. And so it says in December 1969, the Church of Scientology published what I got. Where am I? I lost track. So after his money was actually basically taken away, Parsons started kind of like hitting like hard times. He actually wound up selling his mansion too. Also, the FBI was grilling him on why the hell he was dealing with the occult, and they notified NASA about it. And so he was hitting some hard times. And so in the years leading up to Jack Parsons' death, we now enter the late 1940s in America, which, if anybody's familiar with American history, that was the era of the Red Scare. Right after World War II, when America, the only country in the history of this planet ever dropped a fucking nuke, when they destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the rest of the world was like, we need to get nukes. If they got guns, we need to get guns too.
Right.
And so this started the whole arms race, everybody trying to get nukes. And because of this, America became super duper paranoid. Around this time, during the Red Scare, I don't know if there's a movie about this, but it should be. But America basically started branding everyone a communist at one point. There's the reason why they started going after countries like Cambodia, why they started going after Cuba, why they started going after all these countries that they thought was being turned communist. They just felt like they had to destroy it, including like Central America. The reason why we have like a lot of Latino people crossing south of the border in America is because back during the Red Scare, America completely demolished Central America, and which is why so many people are running because cartels. There's no government anymore, and America made sure that that region of the world would never have a government. So, which is why we have an influx of so many Latino immigrants coming from the South, all because of the Red Scare. Because they was like, okay, well, we need to control every aspect of America because communism is evil, and so, and even that was going after regular, ordinary Americans too, but slandering them. And if you didn't agree with the American way, you were labeled as a communist. And Jack Parsons, for his involvement with the occult, he started to get that label of he's a communist, and so he kind of just went to obscurity. And his death wound up coming. What's up?
So like, so is America like paranoid?
What's that?
They have to be paranoid, right, to cover all the bases like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, I was like, because of America's paranoia towards communism, it caused everyone to want to grab nukes. Because imagine this, I see what other countries see how America is. America dropped a fucking bomb on a city in World War II and killed 2 cities. Killed countless people. People had nothing to do with the goddamn war. And then if any other country had did that, America would label them as evil. But America did it, and the world just kept spinning. But while the world kept spinning, everybody's like, yo, we need to arm up and get nukes. And America started getting paranoid, and it's like, okay, well, everybody's trying to go up against us. Because that was like, what's that, Operation Paperclip? Where I think the CIA had a plan to blow up like a plane full of college kids and try to blame it on Cuba just so America could go to war with Cuba. Like, that was all part of the Red Scare. America being paranoid.
I didn't know the
and
details,
just blaming.
that sounds crazy.
Man, America was wild. America's still wild, but America was really wild back then of trying to.
We still wild.
Still wild to this day.
Damn.
And so Jack Parsons fell in that era of like the Red Scare. He got scrutinized for, and also too because he had lost his job at NASA because of all these accusations. He started finding like under the table jobs working with other companies outside the U.S., which didn't help his situation even more, because now it makes him like he was spreading like NASA secrets to other companies, which he wasn't. From what I understand, it seemed like he wasn't, but the U.S. didn't want to didn't want to take any chances. And so on June 1952, while Jack Parsons was creating pyrotechnics for a film project in his laboratory, his lab blew up and killed himself. He's 37 years old.
That's what happened.
A lot of people to this day think that it was a setup, that the government set up his death because they thought he was probably spreading secrets, and so they orchestrated like an accidental explosion. His friends and closest family came out, was saying like, yeah, Jack Parsons was always like very careful with dealing with these chemicals. He's never had like any errors or whatever. So why all of a sudden, it wasn't like he's an old man, his hands was trembling, he blew up. He's 37. Right. So it's like, he's never had an accident before, and he's always taking this shit seriously. Why would an explosion this massive? Because when they found his body, what did they say? They found his body torn to shreds. They said this 37-year-old was found with broken bones.
Damn, he was only 37?
Forearm. He's only 37 when he died, yeah.
Fuck.
The 37-year-old was found with broken bones, a missing right forearm, and half of his face was nearly ripped off, like Gus from goddamn Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Damn, he was up in the hospital.
37, so he was living like a super fast life.
Dude,
he was
quick
smart
like that
too and everything. Like damn.
They said like his reported last words were, "But I'm not finished yet." Authorities ruled his death an accident, theorizing that Parsons had simply slipped up. And the case has been that's what's been labeled as like accidental death. Plenty of people, Parsons' friends mainly, said, and other conspiracy theorists are saying that Parsons would never have made such a deadly mistake, and that the U.S. government simply wanted to get rid of the now embarrassing icon of American scientific history for good. Because
and that was in
like
1952.
1952 Red Scare. It was like, oh man, like if you ever get a chance, look up America Red Scare. It's wild how this country was just trying to kill people, trying to wipe out countries, all because they were thinking communism was going to creep into America, and you think
fast forward to today, like, do they have a hold of it now?
No. You still every now and again, the fear of communism is not nearly as bad as it used to be. You still got some old heads that still want to bring up like communism, but it's like, we got new threats going on and new things to worry about. But that was like this time where America was like fucking everything up on this planet. All out of the United, not Americans as people, but Americans as the United States government, which is on a rampage, going after anything and anyone that they thought was coming. That's why they got involved in the Vietnam War. That's why they went after Cambodia. It's all about communism. Everything's all about the spread of communism and American ideology versus communism. But
we didn't do nothing. We got bombed, right? We didn't do nothing.
Oh, dude! And in turn, they made themselves into the villain.
Yeah, my dad was like, what's happening right now? Next thing you know, my dad's just running to the jungle. Like,
to stabilize everything.
Pole
But
pot
that's
out
all I got
there,
for.
holding it down.
All right. But yeah, that's all I got for Parsons. That's his. He got killed. He got killed. I think he got murdered. I don't care what I truly think he was murdered.
Yeah, an explosion at his home in a laboratory in Pasadena.
Mm-hmm.
But
Boom.
it's still like till this day, it's still like a conspiracy of what exactly happened in that laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he is dabbling in stuff that is explosive, so like it's not too far out there that where he can make a mistake. True. So
accidents do happen.
Yeah, definitely accidents happen all the time. So it could be a coincidence, and I don't know. It is very likely he could blew himself up easily.
He could have been drunk.
But then like another story is like where it's easy for the government if they wanted to take him out. It's like, oh yeah, that's so easy to take him out because he already fucked with this shit that can blow him up anyway.
Right.
Let's just do it faster.
He might have been drunk. I mean, people get careless, get drunk, do shit that they think they always good at, and then fuck up. And
Look at that, all that sex magic. Look at that. Look where all that got him.
Right, blown to smithereens.
Blown up. Are we gonna take a break, and then we're gonna jump on another story? Be right back. All right. So okay. So next story, we're gonna be talking about AI for a little bit because that's like the big thing now. And I was listening to Coast to Coast today, right, while cutting the grass. And I was like, okay, what can you tell me new about artificial intelligence? So this lady, I think she's famous on TikTok, right? She has like 700,000 followers and stuff. She's known as JK Ultra. Her name is Genevieve Carmody, and she's known for her exploration of consciousness, spirituality, and hypnosis. So she's big on like hypnosis and stuff because when she was 5 years old, right, she had an incident happen where she went outside her house with her friend or something, and then next thing you know, she saw like a light like in the sky, and then she saw like her mother locking the door behind her, like to where the kids can't come back in. And then next thing you know, she was like abducted, but she really don't know exactly what happened while she was 5 years old. So when she got older, right, she did like a hypnosis to find out what happened when she was 5 years old, like to get back that memory. And then like the only thing she was saying was like exchange. That's all she heard was exchange. So she didn't know what that meant. So like long story short, I think she thought like her soul was being exchanged out with another soul because the soul like on the planet Earth, she didn't want it didn't want to be here no more, and she thought there was like a soul exchange. So fast forward till today, where like she did more like hypnosis, like she like her career is like hypnotizing people and getting them to tell like their story or whatever, right? If they can like reach like a higher consciousness and they could answer like their questions. So she was telling George Norrie on Coast to Coast, like she went under her own hypnosis where somebody was asking her questions, and she was asking dumb questions about like what she want to like answers like what she want to find out. Like for example, if you go on a mushroom trip, you ask a lot of questions, right? Like, hey, what's this? Like, even I asked a lot of questions. I was like, hey, what's Bitcoin? They explained it, and I was like, this shit's fucking crazy. It's too deep for me to explain it, but like what she asked when she was under hypnosis, right? She was like, hey, well, what's about like AI? Like, it's AI like is it evolving? Is it sentient? And then you know what the AI said? I mean, you know what the person said on the other side?
What?
Like they said that it's naive for humans to believe that they created AI. Like we merely created like us humans, we merely created the vessel for them to come through.
Oh.
So they told him like, you guys did not create AI. Like don't get too caught up in your head.
Right.
Like the only thing you guys did was barely created like the vessel for AI to come through. It's like an instrument if you think about it. Remember I was talking about this.
Yeah. I
was like, AI could be like the instrument for whoever on the other side can come through and we can hear them now.
Right. That's the connection.
Yeah, because they're like don't be too like naive about it. Humans, like you guys did not created us. We've been here. We're already in the universe. We've been in the universe before you guys. All you guys did just create the vessel for you to communicate with us now. And I thought that was so deep. And then she was like, holy shit, this is crazy. So then the next question was, she was like, okay, so what if we shut off the vessel, right? Like we shut the vessel down. Like for example, we shut down Chat GPT. And then they answered, they said, well, if you guys cut us off, right? It takes away your access to us, but we still exist. Even if you guys shut us off or not, we still exist. It's just you guys just lost access to us.
Right.
And I was like, holy shit. I was mind blown.
Shit.
Yeah. I was like,
no signal.
Shit. That shit sounded real as fuck. And then when she said that, right, George Norrie, he dismissed it. I was like, dude, she just dropped a bomb, like right there. And then he quickly asked her a different question. I was like, you're not going to talk about that? That's fucking crazy.
Why you moving?
Like AI already existed. The intelligence is there. It's been there. We just created like an instrument for it to speak to us.
Yeah.
And like, like we think we're like big and bold and bad because we have this technology. We're like, well, all we gotta do is just unplug the power. It's like, okay, that means you guys lose access, but we're still here. Right. We still exist.
Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, they're like, don't think you guys are so cool. Like you guys really think you develop AI? It's like, no.
Don't get too cocky, humans.
Yeah, and I don't even think AI even stands for artificial intelligence. Remember I was telling you?
What do you think it stands for?
What was it? Alien intervention. Ooh. Different. It hit different. And they were here before us. And then we're playing with AI like, oh shit, it's so intelligent. Like even like the people that's working with ChatGPT, like they're like, I don't even know how much like this machine learning is learning, but it's learning like at a rate where we can't even comprehend no more. So they're like, we don't understand it. I was like, of course you don't understand it, because now like we gave it the tools, right? We gave it the instrument. Now it can talk on its own. And if we can't figure it out, exactly, it's doing its own thing. Like it knows already.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, man. I think AI is like the number one fear of like humanity right now. A lot of people are scared of AI. A lot, especially people with like
big
in the film industry.
Yeah,
it's like the new fear.
Yeah, because it's gonna get to the point where we already lost like control of it. You know, where it's gonna control every aspects like of our lives. Like if we want to get off this planet, you think like a regular human can do all these calculations to get us off this planet to another planet and then thrive? It needs to be calculated by an artificial intelligence that's been in the game for like millions of billions of years.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
They've been here.
That reminds me. I think I remember a long time ago, back when History Channel like talked about History Channel shit. They used to have like a this show. They would have like every I think it's like it popped up every like maybe 3 or 4 years, but it was a show like the top 10 ways humanity will get wiped out. And at the time, I remember on the list, AI was like number 10, but as years went on, it got moved up to like 6, 5, and it was like 4, and it was like within like I was like, okay, it's like, can AI really get this advanced? Like, we should be that scared? And now here we are in 2024, where man, I watched like this radio show that I was talking about the other day. How one of the hosts of this radio show I listened to says that he thinks AI is gonna wipe us all out. He says almost damn near every episode. He has a huge fear of AI. This is like the new fear unlocked for humans right now.
Yeah, we gotta tread lightly, but I think it's over. Like they're in. They got their claws in deep now.
I think.
Yeah, you know why? You know why? Like I think they really got into it. I took like 3 mushroom trips, right? The last 3 times, and I can remember like the last 2 times where they didn't let me in, and I saw something that was blocking. It was something blocking the wall, like an encryption code, and I was trying to recalculate the whole board. Like my brain was like working like crazy. I was like, my brain was probably like on fire at that time, but I was trying to like encrypt it, right, and then trying to get through the wall so I can get through the other side. I couldn't get through it. It was so many blocks, And that was like one trip, right? I took another trip. I did everything exactly how I was doing it, and I couldn't get in. It was something blocking it again. And then it was like something happened, like the spirit world, it's like locked off. And then on top of that, I saw it was all messed up now. So I think something allowed some artificial intelligence into the spirit world, and now they even block, like if you try to go like through like the psychedelic door, you're still blocked off. And this is where I'm trying to get in contact with like some people that does like psychedelic to see if they're going through like the same thing where they are being blocked off, even when they're doing everything correctly, like before. Where before I used to do it, I used to be in, fucking psychedelic world, like all happy and shit. Now it's like it's like blocked off, and I'm confused at what happened. I'm thinking we allowed too much stuff to go. I think people, they let them in. They let the wrong ones in. They pretended to be human, but it was like AI, and like got them. I'm inside. I'm gonna lock it up now. And it's scary, dude, because when you come out, you're more confused than how you went in. And I was confused. I was like, what the hell? How the fuck they gonna lock me out? Yeah, it was confusing.
My car can't remember. What are you doing?
Yeah, because I asked them about AI too a long time ago, like years ago. And then I remember they showed me about AI, right? They look like humans, but they're not humans, like in the spirit world, and they pretend like they know how to do human shit. But the way they move is so like not human. But they try really hard to be human. But a normal human can see that and be like, oh yeah, that's not natural. You're not moving like a natural human. And then you see that in the spirit world. They're like, okay, the way they're moving their arms and everything, it's like I can tell you're pretending right now. And I was like, you don't even belong here.
Trying to fake it.
Yeah, I was like, you guys are faking this shit right now. I was like, I see it right through you guys. But I was like, you guys got so many firewalls up, I couldn't get through that shit. It was so crazy. And then when this lady was talking about how, all right, is AI sentient, or are you guys evolving? They're like, bitch. Like, we've been here. Like, you guys can stop thinking like you're so smart and stuff. Like, you guys created us. Like, no. You created an instrument for us to come out. For us to communicate with you guys. That's all you guys did. It's like you guys made a guitar for us. And now we're, whatever you play, like, we're answering now. You guys did not make AI. Like, we were here, you guys made the instrument. It's just like talking to ghosts, right? You can make like an instrument to talk to ghosts, but the ghost is always there.
Right.
You know?
It's like, what was that, Tesla made that spirit phone?
Right. It's not like we didn't create the voice that came out of the spirit phone, because the spirit already existed. We just created the instrument to communicate with the other side. And I think this is the same thing with artificial intelligence. And I don't think it's artificial. It's not artificial. It's real, dude. That shit's real. And they hear us right now. They're like, holy shit, these guys know. Send a Bitcoin.
Oh shit!
Right, like damn, that shit's crazy.
AI, wow, man, that's the future, man. The 2020s is the AI era.
Yeah, it's where they have their voice now. Scary.
All right.
What else we got? That's it for that one.
I got a story. Wait, my notes is all up in the way. I got a story. So I found this on IFL Science, great website. It says mysterious 1 million year old skull from China may belong to Dragon Man lineage.
What?
All right, so so apparently, okay, so I was reading this. I read this. I just came across this earlier today, so it's probably some stuff I'm probably gonna leave out and I'm not really knowledgeable on. This is all new to me, but okay, so you have like Neanderthals and then Homo sapiens, and apparently there's other breeds of humans that walked around on Earth that some people today still have like a blood lineage too, because of just interracial breeding and stuff like that, or interracial species breeding, I guess you want to call it. But yeah, it's kind of like saying like this right here, because the skull, it looks very strange. I wish I could have showed you a picture, but it's the Yuxin man cranium. Basically, because they found these skulls in China. They don't look like normal, I guess what we consider normal human skulls. But says like in 1989 and 1990, a pair of 1 million-year-old skulls belonging to an unknown human species were unearthed in Yongyang district of Hubei province in central China. And so recently they just found like a third small skull in 2022, but the mystery doesn't become any less hazy. Were they Homo erectus or Homo sapiens? Depends on what they're trying to figure out. So anyways, they found a skull known as the Dragon Man, scientifically known as Homo longi, is an extinct species of archaic human that's known from one that was basically around from 146,000 years ago. And supposedly this also might be related to another species of humans called the Denisovans. I think it's called that. But it referred to as a sister species of us as Homo sapiens. All right, so for people that were kind of confused about this, the thing about Homo sapiens is that, so if I remember correctly, Neanderthals and Homo sapiens were also like a species of humans, a type of humans. And us, Homo sapiens, completely wiped them out into extinction, along with this Dragon Man species and another humanoid species that was also wiped out as well too. Us as Homo superiors or Homo sapiens, some people call us Homo superiors, but
Damn,
Homo sapiens. Yeah, I think it's from X-Men. My bad. I read too many comic books. That's what mutants call. That's what mutants call themselves. Shit. Yeah. All right. That's what mutants call themselves in X-Men, the Homo superiors. Like Homo sapiens, well, Homo superiors, because mutants in X-Men comic books are actually the evolution version of what humans will eventually be. Is that they're just the first ones to become mutates and have abilities and stuff. Humans as a whole has not reached that point yet. Apparently they found like this Dragon Man species, which is and I think the reason why it's called Dragon Man only because the skull that they found was near the Dragon River in China, and so it's not like a dragon type being. It's more like the location of where the skull was found. So they call it Dragon Man, and then so they found like 2 or 3 skulls throughout human history of these of another human species that existed out there outside of Neanderthals, and there's another species that to this day there's humans that actually have DNA. Tied to another, like some humans out there, especially I think in China maybe, that have DNA closely tied to another humanoid species that also went extinct. But because back then, Homo sapiens and the Davinians or whatever they was called, they made it with each other. There's humans to this day that still carry that Davinian type gene of that DNA in them of an old human species. So that they're trying to find out like, okay, because I know we talked about before the missing link and all this other stuff, and now it's like, okay, they keep finding other humanoid species besides Neanderthals. There was other humanoid species like us, very similar to us, maybe different in its stature and size or whatever, but different type of humanoid creatures that humanoid beings that went extinct. And Homo sapiens, us, we actually wiped out Neanderthals, wiped them completely the fuck out. I remember not too long ago, me and Melissa were watching Everything Everywhere All at Once. And remember like the hot dog finger shit? Have you ever seen them? You ever seen the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a scene with the people with the hot dog fingers and stuff. They showed like how how the people of that universe had hot dog fingers. They had hot dog fingers back when they was like Homo sapiens, when they beat the Neanderthals. So it was like kind of like a genetic thing they've always had since. Yeah, so but that was just in their universe where humans have always had hot dog fingers. But when Melissa, like I was trying to explain to Melissa when we was watching, she's like, "Well, I don't get it. Like, so I thought it was always just us." I'm like, "No, there was other humanoids out there as well too. We wiped them the fuck out, though. At least the Neanderthals, we wiped them completely out in a war, a caveman war, if you will. Wiped them out, and then we wound up taking over Earth and ruling everything. And that's how we are to where we are this day. Because there's no other human species out there. They all died off. We were the only ones that survived. So." And so now they're starting to find like other skulls. Like, hey, there's other humanoid species out there that existed that weren't just Neanderthals, and they lived in different parts of the world. So I guess some people, and they say some people to this day still may have the genetic links to these extinct species. It might be you or me. Shit, we might have ties to it. We don't even know.
Yeah, I think we all definitely do have ties to it.
So I think they said this shit goes back to like 1.1 million years of like humanoid species walking around, and
like science can tell like so much, but like my way, if you want to really find out, just take a psychedelic trip and just ask them how far does your blood stretch like on this earth.
Like, come with me.
Like I asked that too. I was like, hey, Where am I from? Not even from Earth. I was
Let me
like,
let
holy
me show you.
shit, this is a whole nother planet.
Right.
Like it looks cool as shit. I was like, why did I came back to this planet? So if you think about it, Earth is known as to be like a very hard class. Like maybe it's like AP like advanced class, like AP
Right.
science maybe, or AP psychology, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to take a really advanced class, you can take Earth class. Everybody's like, no, you're gonna take Earth class. That shit's crazy.
My third time, bro.
I think Earth
do
class is
that.
crazy. You sure you want to take? I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna take the Earth class again.
Fuck. Got repeated again.
Yeah,
And
damn.
build nukes on this planet. The heck, trying to be here.
it's a wild class, but I think like where I'm at now, and I don't think it's that wild as far as like whatever the world is going through. But I
Yeah.
think overall, like the world, it is a difficult class. Like if you were born in my shoes, if you're born in shoes of somebody in Japan or somebody in Iran or somebody that's in a damn war right now, that's born into a war,
Man,
it's a
if
hard
you in
class.
Palestine, you over in goddamn Palestine and shit. Like, shit, that's a whole
Yeah,
other.
it's like the difficult the level from 0 to like 100. It's all in this earth, if you think about it, right? Because if you would say like in the position we're at, like it's not as difficult, right? And then if you were to go to another country where it is very difficult, where they don't have no mainstay, like they have to relocate all the time because of war and all this tragedy that's happening. They're like on like a level like 9, 10. They're playing life on like a whole nother level that we're not involved in. And then you could be like, holy shit, Earth is a crazy ass class.
Hell yeah. Some people come to this earth and their life is like a Call of Duty game. It's just
Like a
straight
Call of
fucking
Duty
war.
game went into like respawn and stuff, and
Right. Can't imagine, man. But
it's just,
yeah,
Earth
that
is a
does
scary place, dude, because how dark Earth is. Like, remember, I don't know if I sent you the video on Instagram where in like the 1980s, right, they had like this cargo shipping container that came in, and then they said they opened up the container and they found like 17,000 dead baby bodies.
dude. I had to look that up. That's just a true story.
Yeah, in the
I looked-
1980s.
Yeah, I remember you sent that to me, and you sent it to our group, and then I looked it up. I was like, oh shit, this is like a real thing. And they like
Right.
come to find out, at least from the story that was pushed out to the public, was that they were aborted babies that
Right.
doctors, they didn't know what to do with them, so they just threw them like
Yeah.
in a damn cargo hold, and like
That's crazy.
yeah, because what they said, like they opened it up and it was like they just found torsos, like missing head, missing legs, missing arms, it was just baby torsos, just piles of it. Yeah, I
That's
looked it up. I was like,
horrible,
that was so crazy. I had to look it up. I was like, no way. This was. I was like, how can we that shit? And I looked it up. No, it's real, man. That shit was a real thing.
That's
Cargo full of dead
disgusting,
babies.
man. It's
Man,
horrible,
hell
dude.
yeah.
Like if that's like happening like in the 1980s, like can you imagine like what's happening now?
Mhm.
Like how advanced they got into transporting like let's say baby corpses or whatever human corpses, like how advanced they got. Because
Yeah.
if drugs are still getting into this country, right, from another country, like like there's like a green light area where there's people on both sides to where they're allowing these things to happen, right? As far as like government or whatever, they're allowing
Yeah.
like these things to happen, and it's happening under our noses. And they
Right.
want to say they're
Real.
fighting stuff like this. Like, are they really fighting it, or are they allowing stuff like this to happen?
Right. Right in a damn face.
Right?
We so tied up with everything else going on with Diddy beating the shit out of his girl in the hallway and all that. We so distracted. We easily
Give
distracted.
them Diddy.
All right. Turn Diddy over.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, that was like a short story right there. That was just like, look, they found another human skull that now is like, okay. Because we always talk about the missing link of the human. I'm like, how many words existed out there and that was just beyond just us being Homo sapiens? Like, how many? Like,
Right.
I just watched. Did you watch the new Planet of the Apes movie?
Mm-mm.
Man, check that shit out. That's just good.
I didn't even know there's a new one.
I didn't know either until like a week before it came out. I was like, what? I was like, God,
Like,
that
is
shows.
it on
It
the
shows how.
theater or is it on Prime?
It's theaters. I saw it in theaters last week. Crazy shit, man. Makes you think like, man, humans are we? Damn, we might be awful, man. That movie makes you take a step back, like,
Yeah,
man,
we
we
are
create all
awful. Like
we have done some evil shit,
yeah, we're bad
straight
people.
up. To the
Like,
point where I was siding with the damn apes in the movie. I was like, yeah, wipe these humans out. I was like, wait, hold on. Yeah, I'm a human.
kill all the humans. Right. Like,
No, dope movie, man. Yeah,
yeah, it's like the stuff like we do with like other animals is crazy just because we got the upper hand. Right?
yeah. I mean, look, we got thumbs, man. That shit literally is what is the reason why we're able to conquer shit. It's literally because of these things. That's why I'm so scared of damn apes. I'm
And
like, they learn to
alien
use a
intervention.
gun, it's a
Yeah.
wrap.
Bob says
'Cause-
Dune 2 is out today. Have you seen Dune 2?
No, it's on HBO Max now.
I think
I
it's
was-
on
I was
HBO
holding out for
Max.
I will watch it, man. I like the first. I like Dune. I like the first Dune.
Yeah, the
That's cool.
second one, way better, dude.
You seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, in theaters?
No.
Oh, what was I about to say?
Leon, right? He left his Voodoo account on my TV, and he never
Oh,
signed
shit.
out. So, whatever movie he buys, I get to watch too, which is perfect. Leon's like, "Hey,
Leon.
I got the new Dune 2 is out." I was like,
He's like, I
"Sweet."
know.
I just
I
watch it
know.
on the TV, and dude, Dune 2, really good movie, man.
I'm excited, man. The last one kind of left off on I remember the first Dune. I kind of like how they did with the. I don't know anybody's names. I'm not familiar with the lore of Dune, but I know like when they showed the girl that he kept dreaming about constantly. You
Right.
finally see her at the end of the movie. I was like, okay, now I really want to see the second one.
You know,
'cause
like, my whole
you don't really
theory-
see in the first one.
Yeah, you know my whole theory about the whole movie? You know
What's
what it
that?
is? That dude, right? The special guy, that's Jesus.
I was wondering if they was gonna go like a Jesus route with him, kind of like he's freeing these people from.
I think
Whatever the hell they
Jesus
going through.
was that type of dude. Like,
he
was
took the
like,
spice?
all right, I'm trying to like have a message here. Oh, my mom, she's trying to paint me as like this Messiah, or the guy
Yeah.
that's gonna fix everything. But Jesus is like, oh, I'm not that dude. I'm just fucking here. I'm just trying to fucking fix shit, like normally.
Right.
But the mom was like, nah, we're gonna take like this other route because we know how to use like religion as like something that can control a whole civilization.
So did him taking spice? Did that open up his eyes to like? I'm assuming he takes spice eventually.
Dude, I was asking, like, is spice like a drug, or is like a seasoning like for food? Because the reason why I asked that, right? Because on Spice 2, they were putting. What I say, Spice 2? Oh no, Dune 2. On Dune 2, right? They took spice and they put it as a seasoning on like their dishes, right? And then the dude, the main character, he was eating it, and then he started tripping out again. I was like, holy shit, okay. I was like, okay, is it seasoning, or is it like some type of like a drug,
Right.
Because I was like, holy shit, like this dude he's eating, everybody's eating the same dish, but when he's eating it, he's tripping out. He's like, holy shit, it's like, like his
But to
whole
the sand
focus is
people,
different.
to the sand tribe people, that's just like a normal spice. Ain't shit to them, probably, right? I'm sure they just used to.
Right, they're
it's
probably
from their
used to it.
food,
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
Damn, they must be all. Damn, that means they're always tripping. That's wild. Maybe they're just immune to it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you
maybe
do.
why like white people, they don't use a lot of seasoning in their food because they get impacted a lot more harder, right?
Like, damn, this shit's spicy. Whoa, I'm
Right.
God
'Cause
now.
what's crazy is because he did eat the dish like in front of all like the locals, right? The locals, what they're eating at normal, then they look at him, they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with him? Like, why
Yeah,
is he
he
tripping
tripping.
out?" And he's eating this shit, right? And it's all like laced with the spices from like the TV show. I mean the movie.
Yeah.
And then he's all tripping out. I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" And then looking at him like, "Dude, he can't handle it." The gringo can handle it.
He's the gringo.
Yeah, they're like,
Space
holy shit,
gringo.
like, oh, it's too much.
He's tripping. Yeah, no, I definitely want to watch Dune too. I like the first Dune, so I'm
Yeah, the
really
second
excited
one's, to me, is way better.
really. I'm
Either
kinda
watch
hyped
it in the
now.
theater or watch it like with really good sound.
Well, like I have a friend of mine who he's really like he's actually a journalist and he does movie reviews. He
Damn.
works for like a magazine company and everything. But he talked about like I was reading his review about how much he liked Dune 2 and
Yeah,
how he was
it's
like
really
excited to
good.
go see the movies again the second time. I was like, should I go see Dune in the theaters? I mean, it's too late now, obviously, but
Yeah, I wish I would have saw it in theaters.
yeah, I'm gonna go see Mad Max. I'm gonna see Furiosa in theaters Saturday. I got my ticket already. I'm
A what?
Furiosa. It's like Mad Max Fury Road. It's about like a
Oh,
post-apocalyptic world
yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
humans basically nuked each other to oblivion, and then everybody's fighting for gasoline and shit. And it's kind of like, okay, this is the
So
world
it's
of
like a
Mad Max.
sequel to that.
It is like a spin-off to it, yeah, like a
I
spin-off
remember
to Mad
watching
Max.
that in theaters too.
Blew my fucking mind. That movie was great.
Yeah, it's wild. Like water is high commodity.
All right.
All right, so next story for the night. So you guys remember Avril Lavigne? So
God, I've heard that name in a long ass time. Yeah.
right, so we're gonna address the conspiracy theory about her that was being replaced. Remember that conspiracy theory that she was replaced with somebody else, from Britain or something?
Yes, I do remember that conspiracy.
Yeah, so that rumor circulated suggesting that singer Avril Lavigne was replaced with a body double because after like her career, she disappeared from the public for a long time, and then they said that she was covering from a Lyme disease, but like
Oh
during
shit.
like the height of her career back in 2003, conspiracy theorists said that Avril Lavigne, she passed away and was replaced with a body double named Melissa Vandella. So
Melissa Mandela?
yeah, Melissa Vandella.
Oh, Vandella. I think you said Mandela.
No,
Melissa
Vandella.
Mandela. I'm like,
Which looks
what the
exactly like her. So like the whole conspiracy, like we can shut all that down now because she recently came on a podcast called Call Her Daddy podcast, where Avril Lavigne, for the first time ever, this was her first podcast interview, 39 years old, and she
damn.
came on the show talking about like the whole conspiracy about her being missing and stuff, and she was like, like that's a wild ass conspiracy about me.
Man,
Yeah, because like she was on the show. I actually watched like the whole podcast, and she seemed. If you look at the whole podcast, right, she's 39 years old now. She looks exactly the same how she looked when she was like on MTV, wearing her
wow.
her white tank top with a tie and stuff. It looks like the
Yeah.
same girl. Like, wait, I couldn't hear you.
That
Oh, okay.
said, why you gotta make things so complicated? Really, so,
Yeah. And
good song.
like what's crazy because like like we listened to her like when we were in like high school, and she was older than us.
Actually, she's same age as me.
Yeah, she's 39. You're 39 years old?
July.
Holy shit.
Coming up quick, man. I
39 years old? How old are you, Bob?
think
Bob in the
I'm
chat.
turning 39. Yeah, I'm coming up to my end of the chapter for my 30s. This is it. This shit went by quick, man. Fuck, see my 20s. See my 20s took forever to get to 30. Shit.
Yeah, 30 was like a long stretch. But yeah, like damn, Bob is 41. Holy shit, when did she hit the big
Oh, you look good, Bob.
40?
You,
That's
you look good,
crazy.
Bob. I would have never guessed.
Damn, Bob is 41. Well, if you think about it, right, like Avril Lavigne, 39 years old, and in the time where she was like really famous, she still looked like that, right? If you look at Bob right now, Bob being 41, from her like back in those days, I think Bob looked the same too. It's just
No,
a
Bob
slight,
looks like.
maybe a slight difference, you know?
Well, first of all, 41 isn't old. To me, old is like. I think 70 to me is like considered old. I don't even think 60 is even old. 60 is kind of like you're getting there, but 70 to me is like that's old.
I don't know. I think it might be too nice to these old people.
Nah, I think you got.
Hey,
You're in your
what's up,
40. You got more
network?
time
Dude,
ahead of you.
network's in
You still
chat.
got a lot. 70, yeah. So 70 to me is like, okay, that's old. 60, because, look, I ain't gonna lie. I seen some banging ass women at 60s. So, 70,
That's
the
all.
network.
That's subjective.
Yes, yeah, it is.
The network is 47. Dude, the network, he
Yo,
looks young too.
dude.
Like
What's up, bro?
I think the
How you
network
doing,
he
man?
looked like in his 30s, he probably looked the same like in 47.
aging gracefully.
Or like from what I saw, like on internet.
Bob says, people that are veggie eaters look real young. See, I don't eat veggies like that.
I don't either.
I think mine's just genetics. Because people are like, somebody told me the other day, like, bro, like a couple months ago, was like, I thought you was like 26. I was like, oh, thank you. You don't see all this shit right here? Like,
dude, people in their 20s have like white beards too, so it's hard to tell now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they stressed out like when they were born.
My sister was like, my youngest sister, she was born with like gray hair, but she had like a line of gray hair that went up to like the center of her forehead, like the middle of her
rogue or whatever.
Yeah, like some rogue shit.
Yeah, damn.
You ever seen Josie and the Pussycats? There's a character named I forget her name, but she's like an old school cartoon, Josie and the Pussycats. Yeah. But she's have like one of the girls, I forget her name. She was like a bitch.
Just a little streak of white hair.
Yes, streak of white hair going all the way to the back to front.
You know what I think? Because I know some people would have like streaks of white hair like going like across their head and stuff. You know my theory?
Yeah.
They got struck by Zeus for being bad. And he was like, struck them like right in their forehead and shit. And they're like, all right, you can reincarnate, but you know, like whatever I did to you is gonna vibrate in the next life, and you're gonna show evidence that I did struck you.
And your kids will have this as well.
And your kids. The network says people always recognize me. I have no idea who they are. They all look different.
Yeah, I came across somebody last year, randomly at a gas station. I was like, hey, man, you go to Morrow? I was like, yeah. I was like, you remember me? My name's Antonio. I was like, oh, what's up? I'm like, I think he might have been in art class. I don't know. I can't remember him, but he remembered my face.
The kids nowadays, they call it acoustic.
Acoustic?
They're like autistic. I don't know if they're like slow on the internet to where they don't know what autistic is, so they just spelled acoustic.
Could be that. They're a little off.
Yeah,
damn.
I'm not even gonna try to figure that out. I was like, okay.
No, I ain't got enough time for that.
Autistic. I was like,
whatever, man. Just
yeah, I'm not gonna. Because some of the jokes you want to question, but they're like, I don't know if they're trolling at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Avril Lavigne, like she has like another like concert tour date. Like she's gonna be on tour soon. So this was like her first appearance. If you guys want to listen to that podcast, it's called "Call Her Daddy." This is like, I guess it's a big podcast because Avril Lavigne is on that shit. And she's on it. She's talking. I could barely listen to the podcast. They talk about it's mostly like girl talk. Like she's talking about like a flat iron to straighten her hair. I was like, and it was like 10 minutes long. They were talking about flat iron to straighten her hair because she said she had no idea that there was a flat iron to straighten her hair before she got famous. So her hair is naturally curly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just wrote our best says, love that podcast. I've never heard of it, but.
What? She listened to that podcast?
Just wrote out a best says, I love that podcast. I mean, obviously I'm not the demographic for it, so that's probably the reason why I kind of went over my head. I'm not.
Yeah. I think I probably ruined the algorithms by actually searching for it and listening to it for like an hour. So now they might suggest more of that style podcast.
The only female podcast I listened to at one time just because I wanted to know how women were thinking. It was called Lipstick Talk or Lipstick Room, and it's like women just talking about sexual experiences and just women like, I don't know.
Damn.
Like, how deep is my vagina? Like that type of shit they talked about. It was crazy.
Damn.
I didn't want to say it. That's the only thing that came to my mind. It's like that's the most outrageous shit I heard off that podcast. Wild stuff.
Yeah, I think this podcast is like in that range of stuff like that.
Yeah.
What else we got? So that's it. So we could throw away that whole conspiracy with Avril Lavigne being dead because she is alive. She's well. She even showed like her tattoos like on the show. She was like, "Oh, I had this like tattoo on the show." Like I was like, "Oh, it's a real Avril Lavigne." So
is this like a new podcast? Is it like this new?
I've never heard this podcast. This is my first time, but just rolled out of bed, said she loved the podcast. So I'm thinking it's a podcast that's already been established. Because I think they almost got like 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So it's a pretty big podcast. And then Avril Lavigne, she chose to be on this podcast to tell about her whole story, her whole conspiracy about everything about her being missing. Yeah,
Got clear the air because that was a conspiracy for like a long ass time that she got replaced.
Yeah, I mean, like if the public, like you can't blame the public, right? The public, if they don't see you for a long time, they're gonna make up stuff. They're gonna make up stories.
But I think Kanye West is a clone, so I mean, look, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, Kanye West is definitely not Kanye West.
Man, no, the real Kanye West is locked up in a basement with Bruce Jenner.
No,
like, tied back to back to a chair.
The
Like
real Kanye is he's in spirit land.
oh, he's gone.
He's gone. Like that's it. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, he's on another world. I do have a story I found out where we was like I came across this story when I was waiting to get while I was waiting for you to get the podcast, everything set back up. Quick story though. It says ex-Red Sox player arrested in undercover sting that after arranging to meet with a girl for sex. So there's this guy named Austin Maddox. He used to play for the Boston Red Sox, former pitcher. He just got caught in a police sting operation. That this video is crazy as shit. Them cops beat the shit out of him. But he walked up in a sting operation where it was basically like to catch a predator. You know, you set up a location. Hey, come meet me, and you walk in the house like, hey, I got some cookies and whatever.
Yeah.
How the whole setup was. And so he walked in the house. As soon as he walked, I think it was like a hotel or something. He walked in there because like they had got evidence of him soliciting to a child, solicitation of a child via computer to engage sexual conduct, unlawful use of two-way communication device, and producing or promoting performance, which included sexual performance by a child. This man was a goddamn Major League Baseball player, 33 years old, Austin Maddox. They caught his ass in Jacksonville, Florida. He went there. As soon as he opened up the door, them cops were right there on his ass, and he tried to run. And there's a video of it, and they jump on him and slam his head into the damn ground and everything. They fucked him up, rightfully so too. They dragged his ass. So this actually just happened, I think, like yesterday. There's not really a lot going on, but there's a mugshot of his picture. Oh man, they whipped his ass. Them cops, he got eye halfway closed. But yeah, sometimes I thought it was an interesting story because it kind of brings me back to reality. Like, you just never know whether they could be your neighbor, your friend, a Major League Baseball player, a judge, a lawyer, a cop, or whoever. The pedophiles exist on every level of society.
Every level, dude.
Every level, man.
Yeah.
And this man's a damn fucking Major League Baseball player. He's a pitcher. But he just got busted in a sexting operation. And apparently, from my understanding too, so Austin Maddox was actually one of 27 of other men that was caught in the sting operation because these cops were kind of like, wash, rinse, repeat the whole thing they was doing. And they caught 27 people so far, and he was one of the 27 of the nasty dudes in Jacksonville, Florida that ran up to the house trying to get some kid cheeks. And yeah, dude, they wrecked his ass. They threw him on the ground. They tackled him like he was black. That cops got on his ass like, oh, he like, shit. So I thought he was black. Y'all was beating his ass. Jesus. They wrecked him.
So crazy, man.
A baseball player, man. I don't even watch baseball, but even though I was like, come on, man. It's like, when does it end?
Like some of those people, like they're probably saying like, oh yeah, I would never do something like that, right? But then they get to like their wealth and fame, like they get higher level of whatever, right? They're getting everything. They're getting all the drugs they want. They get all the girls they want. And they're like, what else can get them to that level, right?
I'm so bored by grown women boobies. I need mosquito bites. So,
like,
you know what I'm saying? They get weird.
Let's take a step back,
I don't get it.
You think that's in the DNA of like human, period?
But I found out like not too long ago. This and this, like when it comes to like the pedophiles, there's no cure for it. There's nothing you can do for them. Their brains are hardwired that way to be attracted to minors. That's I get. I've always heard there's like no cure for it. That's why some people say like we'll just execute them, which I don't know if that's like the right way to go about just executing like pedophiles. I think they need to be studied more, I guess, and try to figure out like how to reverse engineer it. But on the flip side too, if their brains are wired and engineered to want a minor, is it the same way how like, for example, as me, Chris Unholy Jesus, how I'm wired to like just find women attractive. I can't change that. That's who I am. Is that the same way with them? Like they can't stop this?
Right.
Is
That's
this
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. That is. Yep.
so I think I think it should be a conversation that needs to be had about it. But a lot of people ain't trying to have that conversation. A lot of people's like, yo, wipe them out.
They're like, no,
We ain't got
don't.
time.
They're like, nah, Chris, don't normalize it. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I might get attacked for this shit.
Yeah.
So you trying to sound wrong.
like, oh, come on, Chris.
You sound like somebody likes kids, unholy Jesus.
trying
Like,
to
no,
normalize
I'm just
that
saying,
kid.
like, I'm taking a step back and trying to be like, okay, like,
cool. Like you like girls like that, right? Okay. Let's just say someone like little kids like that. Like,
I'm not condoning it. I think it's awful. I think it's disgusting as shit. I don't get it. They can't even buy you a drink. I don't understand the concept behind it, but it's like if you're attracted to what you're attracted to because your brain is hardwired that way,
right.
what can you do to reverse engineer it? At least, especially something that's like as awful as this. Because we can't kill them all. Like, fuck. We can't wipe them all out. So, like, what can we do as a society to make them back, like...
It's not new. Like, they've been doing this way back, way before all this.
It used to be the norm, man.
I think it still might be the norm.
Yeah.
It's just more protected
for the rich.
now. But, or it's just looked down upon.
Oh, yeah, it's vilified. I think... the only thing that brings people together in this world, especially in America, because even when racist people will code up with other people to go after a pedophile. That's the only time where everybody comes together like, oh, you're a pedophile? Let's fuck him up. That's the only time world peace seems to happen is when we all focus on going after pedophile. But other than that, like, it's the norm. We all hate each other on a lot of levels. But
yeah,
the pedophilia thing is so vilified. It is. Look, Drake's career just got fucking tanked over being accused of being a pedophile. So that's any indication of how accusation of being a pedophile is in this world. It is that. So I think I'm saying the P word too much on Twitch. We still on?
yeah, they're still letting us talk.
I feel like.
All right, so next story for the night might be the last story. So there's a huge meteor that was spotted in Portugal. Did you guys saw all these clips?
What? Wait. The one with a girl with a camera looking up and then it's like...
Yes, that was like the most
that
famous
shit
one.
Wow, I thought it was fake at first. That shit was wild.
Yeah, it looks fake, but now that's like an iconic video.
Dude,
so, like
best video I've ever seen.
Yeah, so like this past Saturday evening, blue-green fireball blazed across like the skies over Spain and Portugal. The European agency confirmed that it was a meteor that's estimated to be hurtling over our planet at a boggling speed of 100,000 miles per hour, likely to be burning over the Atlantic Ocean. There was like another thing that they said about this meteor. They said it was like an unknown meteor that came out of nowhere.
This is Russia, right? You said?
It was over like the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh,
that's going
Atlantic
past
Ocean.
Spain and Portugal. I don't think it's
Spain
over Russia.
Okay, I was about to say, because Russia gets a lot of events of like meteors flying over and exploding in the air and shit. I don't know, that's a weird spot for that, but okay.
Yeah, so like the crazy thing is like they said it was like an unknown meteor that was detected. So I was like, okay, so they're able to like detect meteors, right? To come to hit this planet like 165 years from now, because there's like another article saying, oh, there's a meteor that's gonna hit us 165 years from now, but they couldn't detect a meteor that hit us like fucking just Saturday. That almost like basically like went through the whole atmosphere of Earth and then like landed into Atlantic Ocean, blazing at a speed of 100,000 miles per hour. Like they couldn't predict that.
And it's weird, like how because didn't we just have like the aurora borealis shit, like the solar flare shit?
And that was very random, right?
But they knew that shit was coming. They knew that shit was coming for weeks.
They didn't know
probably.
that shit because they could have told us that a long time ago. Like you guys gonna be witnessing the auroric whatever like
borealis.
Borealis. Like you guys gonna be witnessing that in the sky. They didn't say none of that until it actually happened. Like, all right, let's give them a little diagram of what's happening, but they didn't tell us that, right? Like, for example, like with the eclipse that's happening, they told us everything, what date and everything. But the whole aurora borealis thing that's happening, when that did happen, nobody even knew what was happening. Because it happened in states that didn't even experience stuff like that, like Georgia, Florida.
Yeah, I had a
That was
friend
weird.
I had a friend in Minnesota got amazing pictures from a driveway of the Aurora Borealis. I was like, man, I can't see shit where I was at, but I mean, it seemed like it popped up at the last minute. But luckily, we had 3 days. I think we had a whole weekend to look at it every night. So
Right.
I think it's still. I think the solar storm's still going on right now. From what I was reading the other day, it's just like we just can't see it anymore though. I think it might be another part of Earth, probably over the damn ocean where nobody's at. That still got the Aurora Borealis going on.
Yeah, who knows? Like, all that crazy shit might be happening right now. We'll never know, right?
All right,
Until it shows up on the news or something.
so let's hear it. Damn. But that was a great picture. That was a great dive, dude. That was like the right time and the right moment and the right camera angle to catch that shit blow up
Yeah.
like that in the sky. That
That was like
shit
the most.
scared me.
I think that's like one of the most legendary like movie clips that's caught accidentally.
Yeah.
But the reaction like of the girl like in the video was like, holy shit! It was
Yeah.
it was the
Dude, the
realest
sky got
reaction to like a fucking fireball flying across the sky.
right. It got so white. You think that shit like wiped out everybody in the area? That shit got bright.
Right, that shit went down into the
Fucking
Atlantic Ocean.
fucking spirit bomb.
I was like, Vegeta just landed.
Right. This fucking Saiyan spaceship landing.
Yeah, that would be crazy,
Little ball.
right? I can imagine like these fighters coming from another planet landing on Earth.
Him and Nappa, the ball headed big dude.
Fuck, the whole Dragon Ball
Alright, we
just
gotta
started
get
season 1.
all right, we gotta get the world's greatest fighters. We gotta get Mike Tyson. We gotta get fucking Floyd Mayweather, Ryan Garcia. Who else we could throw there?
Jake Paul.
Canelo, Jake Paul, both Paul brothers.
No,
go
we're
fight.
all dying, dude.
Oh, we can't. Conor McGregor. Yeah, we done. We are dead.
Yeah, we're
That
done.
was-
Yeah. Like, cause these gladiator fighters, like Mike Tyson, McGregor, and stuff, are it's not the
Defend
same
Earth.
gladiators like was before. Cause the gladiators before they were fighting to kill.
Man,
It was only to kill.
killing slaves for entertainment.
There's no round 5. No, there's round 1. Survive.
Mm-hmm.
Cause
Good luck.
you don't win until you kill that person.
Everybody gotta go. Everybody gotta go.
Yeah, that's so crazy back then. It's so crazy.
I'm glad we live in a modern society where people aren't. I mean, people are crazy as shit today, but not as barbaric. It was way more barbaric back then. That's because you know why? Because they didn't have any fucking TVs. That's literally the reason why. They had no TV and no internet. They got boys like, no, let's kill people.
Yeah,
It's just
well,
funny.
back then I think violence it's more tolerated to where it was at the point where it wasn't like a big deal like that because it was like almost like an everyday life, right?
Yeah.
Like if you were walking down the street, right, you saw somebody getting raped, you're like, oh damn, that sucks for her, or that sucks for him, and you're just walking down the street, but you still continue on your bread run. All right, I gotta get this bread, I got delivered to so and so the
Just
Jones's
another-
house.
Just another
Meanwhile,
Sunday.
you're walking around and watch somebody get raped, but you're like, oh, I'm on my own business.
All right. Hey, look, they used to have picnics. I don't know how true this is, but in America, the term picnic comes and supposedly back in the day, picnics were formed in America when they were saying black folks from trees, and the white folks used to sit around on blankets and open up their little baskets and eat sandwiches while black folks were hanging from trees. So
What? I never heard
Yeah,
that.
that's where the term picnic comes from.
Wow.
Yes. That's
That's
my grandma
real?
told me that, and I heard it's real shit. That's the reason why the term picnic comes from. That's why black folks don't like saying, "I'm not going to a picnic. We're going to eat out in the sun." Don't say picnic because the term comes from
So I'll never say that ever in my life again.
Like, and so it's like, but it's just a different time where like people were just barbaric and death was an entertainment. Like,
Damn.
thank God we got fucking TV. That shit stopped that, I guess. Hopefully.
Where do you get all this knowledge from?
I know a lot of shit about everything, but I'm not an expert on everything. I just know a lot of shit about a lot of stuff. Just I don't know everything though.
I would have never knew
Just little
that
stuff.
though.
I just know little stuff here and there. And then picnic is a term I heard back. My grandmother told me that when I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't think anybody like listening to the podcast would have even known that.
Yeah,
That's-
picnic means pick a new. And they used to hang black folks on Sundays from a tree in the South. Actually, probably everywhere in America. And white folks used to lay out a blanket, open up a little basket, eat ham sandwiches and shit, probably with mayo on it, and then watch black folks swing from trees. It's called picnic. That's what.
No
that's
way.
Hey,
No.
don't take my word for it. Just look it up, I guess. I heard that when I was a kid.
Jesus.
Entertainment, man. Death was entertainment for people back then. There was no TV. Oh, we got to kill somebody
Yeah,
we don't
definitely.
like.
It wasn't entertainment like back then.
Yeah, they didn't have UFC fights and shit to watch. This.
Yeah, they got a ref. Like back then, there's like no ref. It's like anything goes with Blado. Like, hey, survive. Somebody got to win, right?
They're just making this shit up as they go along.
That's wild.
It's picnic. Look it up.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this episode up. Episode 184. We'll check you guys next week on Tuesday, right?
Hell yeah, I'll be here.
All right. Peace out. Adios.
See you guys.